Okay, good morning and welcome along to the point of relief session. We're going to do a long release today for our shoulders. So if you're a throwing athlete or spiking athlete, so basketball or cricket, tennis, serving, swimming, anything where you have to reach and extend, we're going to really loosen through the whole structure down through your lats, teres major and infraspinatus. Hopefully give you a little bit more flexibility through that. So it's going to take us, we'll do around 40-45 minutes, and what we're looking to see by the end of it is a change in your range of movement through your shoulder. So with that, you just want to sit up straight and then just reach up in the air and see if your fingertips are even. Okay. By the end of the session we should probably find that when we reach up in the air, you should have whichever shoulder we've done more work on. And I'd encourage you we'll just work on your dominant shoulder today. So I'm going to work through my right shoulder. But if you're a left arm spiker or server or swimmer, I guess swimming we do both, then please just concentrate on the one that is most important to you. If you are a swimmer, so both arms, then you should spend some time doing both of them once we're done. Okay. We're going to start working through our lats, so the muscle attaches right round our back, right, and here through our rib cage. I'm going to do a side lying technique, so I'm going to extend out. I'm going to have the point. I'm going to start down the bottom of your lats. So if you sit up and just pinch, so get your fingers, pinch, you'll feel your lat muscle and you can feel how far down it goes, right? And we want to start maybe 2 or 3 centimeters up that muscle. Okay, so we're going to extend out. We're going to find our point and get some pressure down on that straight away. So for me, that's coming straight up into my shoulder. I'm just going to support my head with my hand so I get into a little bit of a relaxed position. And just trying to relax down on that point. Pretty uncomfortable. It's sort of different. I don't know if it's sharp or not. It's quite a strange one to explain. And when I'm on that, like we do each week, we just do some movement. So I'm just rocking a little bit back and forth and up and down, just to get some movement, a bit of friction on that spot. And if you just roll even further over and back, you're going to find different areas where it's sore. As we can progress on a spot, really just try and increase your weight on there. So you're going to be holding some tension, whether it's up through your chest. Just try and really relax down. If that means drop your head, you're going to get a fair bit more pressure down on that spot. Moving forward, moving back. Okay, we're going to move about 2 centimeters up. All right, so it's a really small movement up. All right, so up, move that point 1 to 2 centimeters, and let's drop down again. Now, when we're working, make sure you don't get too far back in the muscle. Now I'm going to sit up, so I want you to stay down where you are. But we want to stay on your lats line here. Let's not get right back here, because then we're going to sneak into teres major and we're going to do that muscle later. So stay sort of what might feel too far forward, but it's really not. Okay. And just trying to relax down on that point. For me, this is sort of really going up under my armpit now. it's not generally an area that you would get massaged or treated. So it can hold quite a lot of tension and quite a lot of soreness when you're loosening out. It takes quite a while to work through that. So it's not something that you can just sit on for 30 seconds or a minute and then go, oh bang, see, that's really chilled out. It's really going to take some time because of the amount of load that it takes and I guess the little care that it gets. You know, how long do we spend really stretching our lats or getting a massage for them? And if we can really take some time today to work through your lats and the connective tissue through Teres major and Infraspinatus, you'd be surprised how much of a difference it's going to make for our arm. It's going a little bit into my elbow now. Right, get your movements, so forward and back, holding obviously on the sore bits, and then doing a little bit of a rocking action, up and down, sideways. Small movements on those more sensitive areas. For me, it's quite surprising, like most of the bulk of the muscle is towards the back of your rib cage. But if you just lean back and it sort of glides the point a tiny bit towards the front, for me I have a lot more tension there. And trying to increase your weight, pushing down on those spots. Oh, bloody hell. Okay, it's come off. Let's just raise it, centimetre and a half, maybe 2 centimetres max. Tiny movement. And we come down again. I find this much more uncomfortable than what we've been doing recently with hips and lower back. I find this is one of the more uncomfortable releases. But depending on what sport you play or what injury you've got, can be super important. Even things like frozen shoulder, or misdiagnosed frozen shoulder can come from super tight lats. Now, if you're using a spiky ball or a tennis ball or a cross ball, whatever it is you're using, it's the same thing, just to try and stick on a spot. Right, we don't want to roll around too much, we actually want to take advantage of hitting a point. And the idea of rolling around on the top of the point that we're doing is about getting different angles, but different angles on the same spot. Whereas if we're using a spiky ball, we can tend to roll off spots. But we are trying to give ourselves some focus. Your movements, try and get a little bit more weight, relaxing down on the point. Okay, let's get another movement up. making sure we don't go too far back behind us. So we don't want to tuck underneath the back. We want to stay on that lats. Okay. We will get to that back part. So just trying to get more range of movement and flexibility through your shoulders. Great for things like a volleyball spike, cricket bowling action to try and reach a little bit higher, tennis serve. If you're a squash player, the stress that you put through your shoulder joints is quite substantial. If you're a boulderer or a rock climber, all those sorts of things, or you've been doing lots of chin-ups. Right, looking after this area of your shoulder is really, really key. Trying to get a little more weight down on it. Okay, so we're just going to, now I just want you to sort of remember where you were. I'm just going to sit up. With a bit of a shake. Now I'd like you to have your hands together. Well, let's reach up again and see where you are on your height. Now my right arm feels, well, going on my fingers there, is about 3.5 centimetres higher because I'm extending a little bit easier through my shoulder girdle. Okay, so that's a bit of free height for someone who's trying to reach a little bit higher for their sport. Okay, so that's where we've got so far, and it's a really good feeling. Okay, we're going to keep going. So we're back down. Let's get one spot higher where we were. So sort of just getting into our underarm area now. Again, just make sure for the moment we're staying just forward, in the forward half of your rib cage, so not getting in towards your back. Alright, we'll be releasing those muscles next. I'm getting a bit of a referral now down the back of my right arm. Should have got my yoga mat. It's a bit uncomfortable lying on the hard floor. Do some movements, rolling forward, rolling back. Up and down. Straighten my arm and try and get some more weight pushing down on it. Try and relax. Breathe. let's come up and just move up a touch. Alright, we'll do this as the last one for our lats, and then we're going to move towards the back muscles a little bit more. Because there's so much overlap with the muscles, you've got your pecs that wrap around, attached down in here. We've got our lats that come all the way across our back. Teres major wraps around the shoulder, then infraspinatus. They're all quite substantial and broad muscle lines, so we're always going to get a little bit of overlap in what's going on. So don't worry if you're sort of not feeling things or you're feeling harder things than what I'm describing. Everyone's going to hold their tension in a slightly different spot in a slightly different way. I'm going to straighten out, try and lay it down a bit. Alright. Okay, so the next bit we're going to work on, we're just going to go a little bit higher. I want you to tip your point over, so it's got the broad side facing up. Okay, so let's get that. And we're going to keep going a little bit higher than where we just were. So if we were just underneath the armpit, we're trying to find the crease here. Alright, so where your shoulder would crease under your armpit. And we're going to try and find that and place that on the broad part of the point. Okay, so about there. There's my crease. Now I'm just going to lay down onto that. You may not feel a lot of things yet. You're just trying to relax onto that. Straight arm, and relax your head down onto that arm. You get a little bit more weight on it and you should start getting some pressure through the muscle. Just move slightly forward, slightly back, and find what the release does. And just try and pull your body up and down a little bit. And again, you'll find when I pull myself down, that gets a really good sharp spot for me. Gets the movement going. Finding little bits of tightness. And I'd like you to just sort of start rolling back on it a little bit. Just see what you can navigate around and see what you start feeling. Okay, let's come up off that. Okay, we're going to move slightly round towards the back. Okay, so we're going to start in that sort of region. So my shoulder blade, bottom of the shoulder blade, come around, right, and there's a muscle you might be able to flick over, so we're going to try and hit teres major there. Okay, so we're in this pretty much the same spot as we were before for the lats. Point up now. Alright, but we're just towards the back. Okay, so we shouldn't be forward and side lying. We're just leaning a little bit more towards the back. And when you hit this, for me anyway, oh yeah, goes right up into my armpit and wraps around under here. Alright, and a little bit into the front of my shoulder. The pain. Okay, so our lats release is about 5 centimeters towards the front where we were, so go to about the middle of the lat and it's further around the back. And you just have to move around a little bit, so rolling forward, back. When I roll towards the back, now I really find it. It's going into my bicep. And just trying to hang out on that point. So you can lean back further on it. Just try putting your left hand or your non-releasing hand back behind you, but see if that makes any difference with how much pressure you can put on the spot. Starting some wiggles. Okay, so we're going to move up just about a centimetre, centimetre and a half. So the point stays, and I just move it a tiny bit down. All right. So this is going to be getting close between, you're going to start getting maybe the edge of infraspinatus and a bit of teres major. Rolling back, rolling forward, finding where it is for you. Let's keep going with that release. I'm just going to sit up and just give you a little bit more guidance, just to make sure we're in the right spot. So if before we were working here, we should be working back here now. Okay, so before we started about there, we're tucked around the back now, working up in this line. Okay, let's keep going. If you can, try and straighten that arm and relax it, and then dropping your head. Or supporting with your other hand, whatever feels more comfortable. As unpleasant as it is, just making sure you do spend the time on it. Trust me, it's going to feel good at the end. Rolling forward, rolling back, around. Make sure you try and relax your arm as well. You can sort of hold a lot of tension, just try and let everything melt and let your body really sink down onto it. So rolling back, rolling forward. Okay, we're just going to have a sit up again, take a break. Let's do some movements through your shoulder. Okay, I'd like you to do another reach up, so up to the side and see where you are. I don't know if it's just because I'm talking about it, but I'm about 5 centimetres higher now. Just what's getting released and how much more I can extend. And you can imagine spiking or serving a tennis ball or bowling a cricket ball, the height of your release that can increase is substantial. Okay, we're going to move a little bit higher. So we want to get into this sort of space. Okay. Now, when we hit infraspinatus, you can get pretty sharp referral pain down into your bicep, maybe down this sort of side as well. Most pretty common is down through your bicep. It's going to feel pretty weird. You really know it if you're on the right spot. So let's be a bit prepared for that. All right. Here we go. Oh, yeah. So we're about 5 centimetres higher than we just were before. Oh. And I've got a strange feeling coming on this line. For me, this gives a bit of a sickly feeling. Not real nice in the sort of stomach. Helps me to have my hand on the ground behind my back because I feel like I'm just going to put too much weight on it and it's just a bit too uncomfortable. And I've really got that. Hopefully you've found that spot that's giving you the referral into your bicep. Keep moving around to find it if you can't find it. Start trying to do a bit of a wiggle on there. Now if you just do a couple of rollbacks, generally as you tilt back, the pressure becomes a bit more, the referral becomes a bit different, and then come back forward. So just moving around as much as you feel you can to get that release. Try and straighten my arm out, can help in getting things a little bit more relaxed. Just lost my spot for a second. Where are you? There you are. Just going to give you a back view. So I'm going to spin around so you can see where I'm hitting. If it makes sense for you where you're getting. So I'm getting that wrapping in around this sort of area. And I'll lean back on it. spin back around so it doesn't seem like I'm ignoring you. Alright, I'm going to keep going on those spots. Now move around a little bit and find a new spot through that area that's still giving you that same referral. Okay, because it's not just one little spot that's going to do that for you. Lean it back. Oh, get those shooting spots. So we're just doing three different releases for our shoulder. And don't forget, there's so much more to the shoulder than that. There's traps, there's pecs, there's deltoids, and all the things in between. But these are just three releases that can really give us an increase in reach and mobility. And we'll get to other things in other weeks. The shoulder is a very complicated joint because it's got so many moving parts. And okay, let's come up and have a break. Give yourself a little bit of a shake. All right, we're going to go back down. We're going to go back to turning it on its side, please. Now, what we're going to do now is we're going to do sort of like that crease one that we did before with the side, but I want us to try and hit a bit further back. Okay, so we're actually going to try and use the point to roll and release over that area. Okay, so we're going to roll on and we're going to create lots of pressure and lots of tension, and we're going to roll off and just let it calm down a bit. Okay, because it's going to be pretty intense. Alright, so let's get our spot. So we're more towards the back than we were before in that shoulder crease. So the shoulder crease was here, we had it right underneath. Let's go back and around by about 10 centimetres. Oh man. That's going to give you a different view so we can see a different angle of what I'm hitting. Alright. Okay, and I want to roll back onto it, and the referral is really substantial, very discomforting. Oh, and then just can certainly just roll off it a little bit, and it'll just decrease. Okay, so I roll back onto it, hand behind my head. And then come off again. Okay, so let's keep working around with that for what you're feeling. Alright, remember we're quite high now, up in this sort of zone. Okay, using that broad side so you can really move around what you're hitting. Core blimey. Make sure you keep breathing as much as you can, trying to relax, put some weight on that point. If you can. Oh wow, straighten the arm out. Imagine how free you're going to spike the ball if you're a volleyballer after this. How high we can reach. Oh. Let's get some wiggles when you get a good spot. Up and down, a little bit side to side maybe. whatever feels good for you. I'm going to go for about another minute. So opening up, rolling back on it, finding those good spots for you. Straightening the arm when you feel you can, trying to put more weight down on it. Okay, so I want you to take your time coming off the point now. Ooh. Oh, wow. Okay. A couple of shoulder rolls. You might notice that your shoulder just sort of sits a little bit lower than it did before, but that'll probably happen a bit more when we work through traps another time. But let's do a reach. Alright, so I'm a good 5-6 centimeters higher on my right hand now than I was before. Now, make sure you take some time and do the other side, even if it's not necessarily your dominant arm, but trying to keep a relative flexibility on each side is a really good thing. That's going to be us for today. Now we spent a long time working through quite a small part of the body, but what you could probably feel is there's a lot of tension, there's a lot of pain, a lot of discomfort in there. So what we've just done is a good start. It's not the end. It doesn't mean that it's now perfect. If it still has some pressure when you put some pressure on there, well, you could spend some more time working through that. One other lat release, which you can do yourself in a seated position, is just getting a good pinch of your lat. Okay, so we get into the muscle either side, and then just doing a lateral raise. Okay, it's a really nice release. It's a good active release. All right, reaching out to the side and reaching up high, and as strong a pinch as you can really manage and you can really get for yourself. All right, thank you very much for tuning in today. Please like, comment, share if we've helped you. Happy pointing and enjoy your weekend.